The most precious gift. Sonadurg was a neighboring kingdom of Krishnadevaraya's Vijayanagar Empire. Sonadurg was rich in gold and diamond deposits. But the kingdom was ruled by a corrupt king Andhermukh. The people of the kingdom suffered from the king's exploitation. Some of his noble ministers who detested his ways decided to seek help from Krishnadevaraya to displace Andhermukh and make his younger brother, the just and humble Prince Surajmukh, the new king. A team of these ministers secretly made a trip to the Vijayanagar court. Krishnadevaraya was moved on hearing the tales of the suffering of the common folk in his neighboring kingdom. Immediately, he ordered his vast army to march to the border in preparation for battle. The news of the great Vijayanagar army approaching reached the wicked king Andhermukh. The coward from ruler trembled. He knew he had no chance in a battle. So overnight, he fled from the kingdom on his horseback carrying as much from the royal coffers as he could. Prince Surajmukh was immediately ordained as the new king by the priests and ministers. The people of Sonadurg rejoiced. New King Surajmukh wanted to show his gratitude to King Krishnadevaraya. So he sent 3 caravans laden with exceptional treasures and riches to the Vijayanagar court. Krishnadevaraya was very pleased for having avoided a bloody war. As a wise king, he knew that in a war there are no victors, only bloodshed and hatred remain. But as a practical king, he also realized the importance of maintaining a well-trained, impressive army and a court packed with clever strategists as a clear deterrent to enemy kingdoms. When the caravans from Sonadurg arrived, the king decided to distribute this new wealth among his military leaders and courtiers. However, he wanted to have some fun with his cleverest minister, Tenali Ram, on this occasion. Though Tenali Ram was exceptionally brilliant and wise, he had a reputation of being lazy. Tenali Ram always used to be the last one to arrive in court just in time for the proceedings. Though he was never late, this last-minute arrival of Tenali Ram was slightly irritating to the king. So Krishnadevaraya decided to use these treasures and gifts from Sonadurg to teach Tenali Ram a lesson. Next day, the king arrived very early to the court. Though he was there an hour ahead, most of the courtiers had arrived and others were coming in. As expected, there was no sign of Tenali Ram. The previous night, the king had ordered palace servants to arrange 42 of the costliest gifts from Sonadurg in the display area of the court. There were a total of 42 generals, ministers and courtiers in King Krishnadevaraya's court. Pointing to the display area, the king announced,
"Respected members of my court, here are the best of the presents we received from Sonadurg. I am sharing them with you. Each of you can choose exactly one from those displayed. Whatever you can get in your hands on first, will be yours."
As soon as the king finished speaking, there was a mad rush towards the gifts. The members of the court had been eyeing the precious diamond necklaces, golden garlands, emerald pendants, etc., that were on display. The courtiers fell over one another to grab the best possible gift to take back home. Within 5 minutes, the display area was empty except for a shallow silver ball that everyone had shunned. The courtiers returned to their seats admiring whatever they could grab and comparing their gift with their neighbors. All were happy that they weren't stuck with the worthless silver ball. They realized that Tenali Ram was not present and so will be stuck with the silver ball. They were happy that they now had a chance to tease him. As the servant struck the bell to mark the beginning of that morning's court session, Tenali Ram entered. Promptly, he noticed that all the courtiers were holding and admiring priceless gifts. Seeing Tenali Ram, Krishnadevaraya spoke.
"Dear Tenali Ram, I am sorry, you have arrived last. I distributed the gifts from Sonadurg. Everyone could take whatever they find. I am sorry. Now there is only this shallow silver bowl left for you.
Seeing the king smile, Tenali Ram realized that he was being mocked for arriving just in time. He understood that the king wanted him to be in attendance early in the court if possible. He made a mental note to do so in future. But now he had the opportunity to do something clever. In fact, Krishnadevaraya expected nothing less from his smartest minister. Tenali Ram walked over to the display area, picked up the silver ball, and immediately covered it with his shawl. With the ball thus covered with his shawl, he walked back and took his seat. The king and the courtiers were puzzled by this behavior.
Tell me, Tenali Ram,
Chucked the king.
why are you covering the dish? Are you ashamed of not being able to collect anything more valuable? Quite the contrary, O beloved king.
Said Tenali Ram.
I do not want you to be ashamed. Me? Ashamed? What do you mean?
Asked the king.
Your Majesty,
Tenali Ram began to explain.
every time I return from your court, I carry precious rewards and gifts that you generously bestow on me. People on the streets notice them when I walk back home and they praise your generosity and my wits. Today, I have to return with this empty bowl. I will keep it covered so that people will still think it is full of gold coins and thus your reputation will remain intact.
Hearing this, Krishnadevaraya happily realized that once again Tenali Ram had outsmarted him and the courtiers. He unhooked his costliest royal necklace and dropped it into Tenali Ram's silver ball so that Tenali Ram did not have to cover an empty ball on his way back home. All the other courtiers saw how Tenali Ram managed to score the most precious gift that day as well with his quick wit and cleverness.